And so, why don't you start again with your what you were saying about you heard about somebody that got a tree limb fell on them and felt
Yeah,
bad
and
for them.
Julia had a good response. So, I was saying that a lady was killed in one of those national parks in California. Tree limb fell on her. And I was speaking with Julia and I said, I would like to be in a place where that didn't bother me. And she said succinctly that, oh, you can be, you just turn your attention away and nothing happened. And that she's in a better place now because she's in reality. And I was thinking later, well, I agree with what she says. All of that is true. However, if that's what how it is after you have are in the thoughtless reality, that you turn your attention away after an event has happened and you're peaceful. I had originally thought, well, when you become realized things didn't bother you right in the beginning. So then I was saying, well, if that's the case, why is the one within this body keep pushing me to be realized when ultimately the only thing that needs to be done is to turn my attention away to begin with?
Well, you could put it this way. So, think about the space or the sky. Okay, so um, tornado comes and rips through a big stretch of Midwest or whatever and destroys a bunch of houses and kills a bunch of people. Is the sky affected?
No.
So that's the position of not being affected by it from the beginning, right? So it's like being the space, being the container, then recognizing that whatever appearances come and go inside of you, sure, I mean, naturally you can feel compassion or be helpful to someone or, comforting, but even that is, it's just the role that you're playing, right? So, I mean, you're not, if you're acting in a play, you don't take yourself to be the actor, but you do your best job at playing that role. Same thing here, except for, you're the space, the dream character Terry, his life is appearing in that space, and his dreams appear when he's dreaming. Um, but the whole time, you're always the space that's unaffected.
Gotcha. Also, what Julia was just saying, and what I've been telling myself every day for I don't know how many years, that I have to break my addiction to the internet. I remember Sid Harimerawaishwar said in one of his books, and this was what 1933. He was selling one of his aspirants, or all of them, not to be reading the newspaper. How can you get out of the worldly existence if you're reading and you're being caught up in worldly events all the time? So that you need to more or less you need to stop doing that so your mind will calm. So again, I tell myself this every day, then I get on the internet and 12 hours later, poof, the day is gone. But I'm really going to stop. I have to because I'm going to stop.
Yeah, and it helps just, just start small. You know? Why not? Just take it a little bit at a time and then gradually wean yourself off it. Why not?
Yeah. Julia, do you have something to say? Because I have something I want to address in this book, but I'll
Yeah,
wait.
like what I said to you yesterday. I mean, if when you read the news, you make it your reality. It doesn't exist except your mind starts to create a picture and you identify with the picture. I don't know. Now David talks about compassion. Should I feel compassion? I don't give a damn. Somebody got hit by a tree and I read in the news. I don't feel
Well,
anything.
sure,
So
but if your
maybe
next
I'm
door
on the wrong side.
neighbor or your son had a tree branch fall on them,
Oh, yeah.
you'd feel differently.
Yeah, that's a different story, yes, because
Yeah,
it's closer
so
to
why
me
not?
and I identify right. Yeah,
It's okay to actually help them, but recognize that that's just the role that you're playing. I mean, if you're the space, you're the
right.
container, then you don't identify with the role. You can play the role, play it perfectly fine,
Yeah.
you know, and don't give a damn at the same time.
But it was also my idea, like if you are sleeping and you don't know the news, then the world doesn't exist, that reality doesn't exist, that reality creates when you read the news. And
Well,
then
the thing with
suddenly,
with that, and also why was saying that, is because similar to what I was telling you guys before, is that these are the things that keep us bound to the world. This is a befriending appearances.
Yes, befriending your parent. Yeah.
And also, if you're spending all day doing it, um, really there's no good and bad, right and wrong. But this is why I was telling you before about taking a few minutes. If you're sitting there, going through the computer, going through whatever, just stop, take a few minutes, let it all go, and then do whatever, right? And then, like I said, you gradually, you more and more become identified with the background.
Hello, da? Da?
So, make sense?
It does.
Okay.
So, I think though that it's definitely a good idea for you to take a little bit of wean yourself a little bit off. Um, but you're going to do something anyway, right?
That's true.
It's your choice what you want to do. And it's not binding. Those kinds of things aren't binding in themselves. But if you really want to become more subtle and become established in the self, then you need to turn your attention away from the world. And then once you kind of become established as that, then everything you see is the self. You're only experiencing the self. It's not like there's a world out there that can drag you down. It's all yourself. But clearly that's not the experience at this time.
Mm.
So it's those Chinese girls that got you fascinated, right?
Them and the Korean. Yeah, those dramas they're addictive.
I've seen
Because
you
they're fun.
posting some things, those shorts and Instagram stuff. I haven't really looked at it
Yeah.
too much. Some of them are just in passing. I've seen it. I like that chick that goes and does all the mechanical stuff. Pretty talented.
Oh, she is wonderful. Yes. Yeah. And she just, yeah. Yeah,
But
she just posted a little short video of her husband and her twin daughters. That's just pretty cute too.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I would say don't beat yourself up about it, but also, yeah, wean yourself from it.
Okay. Okay, well, I'd like to go to the next question. It was from this book.
Which book is that?
And Maharaj is talking with an aspirant, and the aspirant says that, do
Which
you have
book
to
is
check
it?
your mind all the I'm sorry?
Which book?
Uh,
Illusion
this
versus
one,
reality.
reality versus illusion, or illusion versus reality, I'm sorry.
Okay.
And it's like page 113. Anyway, the aspirant asks, do you have to check your mind all the time? Maharaj says, yes, check your mind and that habit will be developed and you will be okay. If you get engrossed in the world, it will overpower you and there is no limit to it. That's pretty much what the topic I was talking about earlier. But I was kind of confused on that checking the mind all the time because I had to, I didn't think I was supposed to be watching the mind all the time. But
Well, what that
but this I
means is
understand
that if your
because we
mind
check
is
it.
running objectively, or if your mind is settled in the self.
Oh, so if it's running objectively, then it should be watched and checked.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was saying
Subjectively,
before
let it
about
go.
catching your mind or training your mind,
Mhm.
lifting it from objectivity, or again, this greatest quote of not befriending appearances.
Yeah, yeah, that was that. Yeah.
So you're just
Um,
like real snuggled in there with the appearances.
yeah, yeah. What was I going to say? Gosh, something so important. I was going to say it was about the objective, about keeping an eye on it. God, and I just lost it.
Well, that's okay
Oh,
because that's
now,
objective too.
yeah. Okay, the objective thoughts. Again, okay, keeping an eye on it or checking it is my impression now from our last time we talked or the time before about the surrender is when I'm checking the mind and it's an objective thoughts. That objective thought, when I can just let it go away. My impression is the surrender is I just surrender that thought. I don't have to pay any attention to it. I don't have to argue with it, reason it. I just pretty much just like relax the mind and let that thought just go away. That's my impression of surrender.
Yes, that's also kind of the witnessing meditation of just seeing thoughts come and go. Surrender generally, it's about that, but it's also a little bit more subjective about me and mine. So when you're surrendering yourself and you're surrendering everything that you think is you, then there's only he. It's like it's not mine, it's his. It's not even his, it's him. Everything is him. So even the concept of surrender is kind of a mislabel because really what can you surrender when there's only he? But if you're feeling that there's a me and mine, then that's what should be surrendered. If there's no sense of that, then only he, then there's no concerns.
Now that you say that, when I surrender those thoughts that come up, when that thought goes into space, there's no I there because that thought is gone. So I follow what you're saying. I
Yeah,
believe that,
surrender everything.
yeah, it's, you know, the the mind doesn't do anything with it. It doesn't notice it, but it notices that thought. But when thought goes, that I automatically goes too. So,
Yes. That's the significance of bowing, is humbling yourself to the point where I don't exist, only you exist, only he exists.
uh,
So all thoughts are naturally only he. It's a whole different perspective. It's kind of the same as what I was saying about the self viewing everything, including all thoughts, as only being the self. So when you're surrendered, there's no you, there's only he. Thoughts, they don't matter. It's only he. So I mean, you can even just that what I was saying before, that stamp of only he, or that mantra of only he, is itself surrender.
uh,
Because where are you if there's only he? It's good to think about these things. And also, the same goes with activities, especially. Um, if you feel all that I'm doing, you need to surrender that and say, no, only he is doing. All is done by he. If there's anything that's being done or any appearance, it's being done by he. It's only he that's appearing. So that stamp of only he, or that mantra of only he, is very direct. And where are you when there's only he? That's where you keep the mind in check. Am I me, or am I he? And that's pretty easy. That's about as simple as it can get as far as checking the mind. Am I he, or am I me? If I'm me, then I need to surrender that. Put the stamp of only he on it. Same thing as surrender. Because there's not room for you when there's only he. But when there's you, there's no room for he. Even though that's all there is, it's just missed by the mind. So really, you're never lost. You're never apart from he. It's just a matter of what's going on in the mind. What's the state of mind? What's the experience in the mind? What's the experience of yourself? Only he, Terry. So that's the checking of the mind that you need to do. Am I me, or am I he? Easy enough?
yeah, it is.
Can you remember that? Should I write that in a text in the chat group?
No, I think I can remember
Only he, no me.
that. That will kind of help in a mundane activity that I'm going to do tomorrow that could end up being embarrassing, but I'm going to do it anyway. But how I look at it is, it's he who's asking, and he who is answering. So there's no reason to be concerned or embarrassed about the situation. So,
Is it something that you don't want to talk about on camera, or is it, I
oh,
mean,
well,
if it's private,
well,
we can talk off camera, or, you know,
it's, well, it
but
may not
what do
be
you
real.
have to protect? What do you have to be embarrassed about?
Well, eh, I'm going to be, my hand therapist is going to release me tomorrow. Okay? And I've been thinking about asking for her telephone number
Oh,
because we always have such great conversations. I take her cookies and magazines, and she really enjoys them. So, but tomorrow's the last day for my therapy, so I thought I'm going to ask her for a number so we can continue the conversations.
yeah,
Ultimately, my thinking is the best scenario would be for her to say no, or I'd rather not, because then what happens if she does give me the telephone number? Then I'm trapped in the mundane, and this will continue. So, so that's pretty funny. So now when I turn it, it's just he asking and he saying, answering, and makes it better.
no woman, no
That,
cry.
yeah, but at the same time, I think uh, it's better to ask and be told no than to not ask and she's been waiting for me to ask. And it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt me because it's not me. It's he. It's the oneness who's asking. So, I mean, I'm really not embarrassed to ask.
Right.
But that deals with he and the oneness as well.
No. Yeah, and you can do whatever you like, you know. Um, the thing is why do you feel the need to do that, to get involved in a relationship, let's say? What's at the root of that? Why do you feel like that's something that you need?
Well, bottom line is I'm still in the mundane, and the mind is thinking that the mind has enjoyed the conversations, hasn't enjoyed me giving her peaches and whatever, and her enjoying receiving them. It makes the mind feel good. And I realize, I understand that there's just the oneness there, but it may be due to the role model. It may be that I'm playing my role.
Well, I would suggest that maybe there's something a little deeper than that, which is wanting something from the world.
Uh,
So
yeah.
that's kind of the epitome, the trap of befriending appearances,
Yes.
trying to
Yeah, because
pursue a relationship, trying to pursue a woman. It's like, what's the motive there?
yeah,
It's like, it's going to complicate your life. Uh, Generally, the fantasy or best case scenario that you have in your mind about it, probably never going to be the case. So,
Well, thinking about all of this, for the last few weeks, at the same time, I've thought about the article in Das Boot about the family life, about how the guy once has a house and he wants this and he get a divorce, and then his kids die, then his wife cheats on him, and then he goes to a different country, and on. Everything is bad, on and on and on and on. So,
Yeah.
I have thought about that a lot during this time frame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting to me because recently there was a girl that was kind of showing interest in me here. I think probably she wanted somebody to support her, but I wasn't really pursuing that, I'm to get involved in a relation. I've been simplifying my life for the last 20 years. I don't really particularly want to complicate it.
Well,
Yeah, for
I've
whatever
been,
reason, it, you know, she lost interest or whatever. I don't even know. I don't really even care. But I just felt a lot of gratitude. Like, thank you, Maharaj. I really dodged a bullet on that one.
yeah.
I mean, it's not to
Well,
say that people can't be in relationships and be realized or whatever, but to unnecessarily put yourself into that kind of situation um, is it's definitely becoming more wrapped up in the world
mhm.
in a lot of ways. And then you get emotionally invested. Something doesn't work out, you feel heartbroken, you feel woe is me, and I'm not good enough, and all this crap taking yourself to be. So that's what I would suggest is, digging a little deeper and saying, well, what do I really want? What would I really pursue this? What do I expect to get out of it? And also, you've been on your own for so long now. That would be a pretty dramatic change in your life and probably quite an imposition in a lot of ways because, it's living with somebody or getting involved with somebody. So that's a lot of worldly activity.
Well, that's true. And on top of it, she's a Scorpio, which is supposed to be like an arch enemy of Aquarius.
Yeah.
Supposedly, they like to control, and I like freedom. So they're not supposed to get along. But I know that's just, but I think the bottom,
Well,
why,
I've had girlfriends when I was younger that were Scorpios, and it worked out fine. It was just that, yeah, I don't put a lot of stock in astrology. I have a couple of friends who are actually professional astrologers, and we'll talk to them a little bit about it sometimes, and we'll get into he has one of them, he's quite good actually, has my chart, and he always wants to like tell me, what's going on with the planets and potential influences in my life. None of it ever is true. I mean, not only is it not true on a spiritual level, but it never, whatever he says never comes true.
uh,
So
well, I think the bottom line on this, why I'm going to ask your numbers. I had her as my hand therapist for my other hand 5 years ago. And during that time, she was professional, she was cold. And one time I asked, I can bring in some kind of treats, and she said, okay. I'll put them such and such place and we'll share with all the employees. So, okay. This time, after like the first 3 weeks, I take stuff in and she took them. She didn't share them with other people. I take
Yeah.
in magazines and she'd be happy to get them because she likes to read. You know, it just, the change there in her, how she act, made me feel good. That's the whole point. Made the
Yeah.
mind.
So in other words, she was more comfortable taking things from you.
Yes, and she didn't share them with her coworkers. Yeah, exactly. Take it. But I was willingly giving them.
Yeah, but you are always like that. You're such a big-hearted person and always giving, you know. It's like kind of need
Uh,
to keep that in mind that people,
uh,
particularly, you know, sometimes women of a certain age or in a certain financial condition um, more motivated. I mean, you've gone through that before already. You've seen that in your marriage that, you
yeah.
know, there were other motivations to taking things than it was just because she liked you.
Well, yes, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
So something to keep in mind. It's like I said, I dodged a bullet, you know, and it's like the last thing I needed.
Yes. Oh, well, look who joined us. I thought she was going to go out and visit Vladimir Dracula's castle or something. No, she's back.
Yeah, well, I had a delivery, and while the cement bags were delivered, the woman stopped and asked me if it's a house for sale around.
Oh,
And
and
did
you
you
said,
say,
my
yes,
house.
this house? Yeah,
Yeah, come in, have a look.
Did she?
And
yes.
she gave me the phone number, and she has to talk with her husband, which is a constructing engineer, and we'll see what that gives.
Oh, well, that's actually good. I was going to suggest that if, unless you already know exactly what you need to do, but I mean, I'd be willing to do a call with you if you want to show me what's going on. And
Mm-hmm.
because
Okay,
concrete can be a
I
little
will.
bit tricky, especially if you're patching something to existing concrete, you know. So there's certain
Mm-hmm.
techniques.
Okay.
If you try to just take new concrete and stick it onto old concrete, not going to work. You have
I will
to
have to
actually
remove it.
have
I will
some
have to remove
adhesive.
it.
Well, not necessarily if you have a good adhesive, or it just depends on the situation, how bad it is,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Sounds like it's kind of minor,
Okay.
except for water's coming in. I mean, that's never a good thing. But in old houses like that,
Well,
it's unavoidable.
I I call you tomorrow. I send you the pictures, and you tell me.
Yeah, or we can do a video call and you
Yeah.
can show me.
Yeah, a video call. Yeah. Okay.
Up to
Thanks.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. It's question of finissage, you know, finishing some parts of the wall. So for the aesthetics. Yeah.
So how are you doing? You have something going on spiritually that you wanted to talk about,
No,
or
I'm doing well. I think I don't have questions. I am, I'm looking at the self, you know. I just let go of the thoughts. I don't befriend the thoughts, and it's going well.
okay, so when
So
you're
I don't
looking at
have
the
questions for the
self,
first time in my
let
life.
go of the one
I
that's
don't have.
looking.
Yeah, I kind of disappear into it, you know. It's kind of sometimes freaking out, like, am I doing the right thing? Disappearing altogether. Like, yeah, but I think that's what it is, you know.
Well, that's what I was just telling Terry about surrender. It's that only
Yeah,
he
exactly.
is the same
Only
thing
he.
as
Yes.
surrender,
Yes.
because it's like, and he was
Yeah.
asking about checking the mind. Maharaj was talking about checking the mind. And what that basically means is, am I me or am I he? If I'm
Yes.
me,
Exactly.
then put the stamp of only he
That's
on
the
it.
thing.
That's surrender.
Yes. So you see, when I look at the thoughts, I dismiss them, okay, like they are illusion. But I'm not yet seeing that the thoughts are part of me. I see
That's
them
okay.
as a thing that I have to get rid of them, you know? I see them as a thing that I don't have to pay attention to them. I don't have to trust them. I don't have to spend the time to let them develop into movies and scenarios. And I spend more time looking at the self, which kind of becomes more and more luminous. It's like when I look back, I kind of, how to say, I kind of settle in my attention settles into that what I perceive as being the light of the self. You know, it's
Okay.
not explosion of the light. It's just the perception that I'm looking at the right place,
Okay.
where I kind of, when I look at that space, I mean space. When I look at that. Everything else appears, you know. It's not doesn't have existence, doesn't have being. It's just appearing. Appearances they do not have. That's why they are not reality, because they are appearances, right?
Right.
So
Well, so the point is again of surrender, you know, of it's good what you're doing, um, but you need to take it to the next step of, you
yeah,
know, letting go
yeah,
of the seer who's looking at the self
yes,
and recognize that it's only
okay,
the
yeah,
self that's looking at itself.
yes, okay, yeah,
So right now you're thinking, oh, I'm looking at the self. You repeated that a few times, but really
yeah, because
it's
I
the
don't have the
self that's looking
language
at
to
the
say
self.
it.
No, I know, but it's the
Exactly,
self
I don't
that's
have.
just looking at
Yeah,
the self. So it's like that's
okay.
where again the mind check comes in. Am I me or am I he?
Mhm,
If
mhm,
it's
okay,
me, then no, only he exists.
yeah.
Put that
Okay,
stamp of
but
only
it's
he on everything, and especially yourself. And this is like I said to Terry,
mhm,
where's the room for you when there's only he?
mhm,
And then as you do that, get into the practice of doing that, letting go of yourself, then all you see is yourself.
mm.
So it's kind of an evolution. It takes, you know, takes a little practice. It's catching the
Yeah,
mind and it's noticing where am I taking my stand? Because is what you describe of look, I'm looking at the self, and I know it's words, but still,
yeah.
it's a concept that you're believing in. So
Yes and no. Are
recognize
moments
that there's
when it's
only
true the
he.
cons. Yeah.
This kind of sounds like a practice that Siddhamara Meshwar would say uh, after like 21 days, it becomes a habit. So if you can, again, my thinking is, oh, if you can do this and catch me or the mundane thoughts and do it faithfully for like 21 days, at least, then it's going to be doing it on its own. Is there any truth
Yeah,
in what I
yeah,
said?
absolutely, absolutely. The more like, that's why I was saying, you know, take time every, you know, during your day to let the whole world go, and that becomes more and
Mm,
more the substrate, you know, that you recognize, oh, that's what I am. All of this stuff, you know, the world comes and goes, but I'm still here. I
mm,
can let the world go off anytime. It's okay. Let it go.
Yeah.
And there's definitely something to be said for bringing some intensity to your practice and meditation and say, you know, I'm going to let go of my sense of individuality, you know, come hell or high water. That's, you know, if I have to sit here for the next 5 hours until I get that experience, I'm going to do it. Be that determined, you know. If I have to sit here for the next 21 days, you know, Siddharameshwar Maharaj, they said, you know, the story Maharaj used to tell is he sat on a wall for 9 months till he felt like it was completely clear, completely free of any sense of individuality. I mean, that's determination. That's intensity. So it's good to actually forget about Facebook and meditate on the self instead.
Yes.
Because I guarantee you, sitting around looking at Facebook all day isn't going to bring you realization. I mean, it's just really kind of hooking you more into the world. So
True.
the
Yeah.
more you can detach yourself from it, the more you can not befriend appearances, then you'll come to a point of stability in the self, and then it doesn't matter. Whatever appears doesn't appear, doesn't matter. Not chase after things in the world, but then ultimately it doesn't matter if everything's only he. But you have to make that understanding firm, you know, you have to make that experience firm in yourself.
Mm.
And you can do it. It's just you have to actually
Do it.
forget the world. You
Yeah.
know?
Do it.
Really, it's like
Yes.
forget about the world. It's like that's why I was encouraging you about, like, you know, when you get out of bed or before you get out of bed in the morning, watch where the mind wants to go. It always wants to go somewhere in the world. It always wants to do something, you know. So just don't act on it. Just watch those thoughts come and go. Watch those desires come and go. Recognize that that's not you. Those are just passing thoughts. Even the desires themselves are just thoughts. Let them come and go. And then once you feel like, oh, okay, whatever, let it come, let it go, then go about your day. And usually the mind at some point will want to gravitate back to the world again. Take a couple minutes. Notice, I'm taking myself to be me. Take a couple minutes and just tell the mind, only he exists, you know? I don't care what the mind wants or where the mind wants to go. Only he. The world doesn't matter. I mean, Terry, we're at the age now. How long is the world going to be part of our experience anyway?
You know, I was just reading just in the last 2 or 3 days, they said life expectancy in the United States was for a male is 75. And I'm thinking, oh my God.
Wow. I
That's
thought
a
it used to
lot.
be more, 80 or something. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm thinking about,
Well,
maybe for women.
if that's the case, I'm pretty well screwed.
That's a lot for a woman.
No, you're not screwed. You should look at it as an opportunity. This is your challenge, your opportunity.
Yes. Well, and my brother David, he just turned 80, so there's hope. But my dad and mom died young. But anyway, that's
Yeah,
not
but
here.
they lived a hard life, and there was
Hard life.
other
right.
kinds of circumstances. I mean,
That's true.
they
Yeah,
didn't
it
also
was
have the same
environment.
kind of medicine that we have these days.
That's true. That's true.
Can't really go by that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really matter. I mean,
Yeah,
what's important is yourself, right?
that's true. But yes, so
If the world's going to go off
maybe
and the body's going to fall off anyway, Why not
Mhm.
put your effort into recognizing and realizing that now, instead of waiting until you're on your deathbed and saying, "Oh, I'm still holding on to this. I'm still holding on to that," or oh, got to
Oh,
go and
ab-
change the oil in my motorcycle or whatever. It's
yes, yes.
got to go watch that
Yeah.
Chinese girl.
Oh God, yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Oh,
do you get the point? I mean,
Well,
there is actually a sense of urgency that you should be approaching with, a sense of intensity.
oh,
And this is what I was talking about being in a high energy state of life, because it's a whole different thing when your mind is just focused in the world and you're just going after, chasing after worldly things, chasing after appearances versus what world? Only He.
mm,
yeah. Yeah, I agree 100% on that. Yes, yes, the time frame is definitely limiting, and need to get busy.
yeah.
And then I think that's the problem, the thinking. Okay, think all that time that I've already been doing it, like, is another 4 or 5 years going to make any difference? I don't mean it to sound just like, of course it's going to make a difference because it will have to occur.
Sorry, guys.
That's fine.
It's okay.
You need to scum up that nice, pretty sweatshirt.
I just didn't want to cough into the microphone,
Ah.
blow your ears out. Especially if
Well,
Julie
I
doesn't
have
have
a
headphones.
question, David. Are you done, Terry?
Well, I was
Did you
just going to
finish
make
your
a comment.
question?
Did you hear the guy's lawnmower next door? It's just so loud. I listen to him every time he goes up past the house. Like,
Oh, okay.
shakes the book on the counter. Now I'm finished.
Okay. I wanted to ask actually, it came to mind. Maharaj, maybe it's a stupid question, David, but Maharaj talks about at one point, oh, you do those steps and then you are drinking the nectar. What is he referring to drinking the nectar?
I'm not sure what you're referring to. I'd have to, you have to give me some context or whatever. Is it an illusion
It was
versus
the
reality? Or?
drinking the nectar of immortality is what she means.
Yeah, drinking a nectar, like, I don't know, and then my mind went to another spiritual readings where they speak about the moment of awakening comes with the drinking of a nectar. I don't know. What
Well, the
what
nectar
is
of
that?
immortality is often that
It's a
phrase is often
state, it's an
used.
experience. Yeah, okay.
No, it's a stateless state.
Okay.
It's the eternal
Okay.
immortality. I mean, what it's never born and never dies.
Okay.
That's your
Maybe it's
true
just,
state.
yeah. Okay.
Maharaj isn't talking about some drink.
No, I was thinking maybe it's an experience. Maybe, I don't know, it's a tremendous release or whatever. I don't know.
Where did you see that in Illusion versus Reality?
No. One of the videos, I don't remember which one exactly, but in one of his talks, when he talks to the people,
Yeah.
he tells, and then you drink the nectar and that's it, something like this. So
I would
I
have
was
to
just
have
curious because I
context.
heard about that many few times about, okay. Yeah, but to your point about being stateless state, it's spot on, yeah, okay.
I want to say something totally offline.
The
From what
nectar is only He.
Only he.
Drink that nectar. Drink deep.
Okay.
If there's a
Okay.
me, recognize it, put the stamp of only he on it. There's no room for
Okay.
you when there's only he.
Mm. Okay.
I think I will have to write that in the
Thank you.
chat group. It's a good one sentence, one line
Maybe
sentence.
maybe the chat group should be only he. Yeah.
It's the
Anyway.
bird's way. It's the most direct way.
Yeah. True.
Were you gonna say something, Terry?
Yeah, so I was going to say, can you imagine how the first person who became realized how that occurred or how their reaction to it was? I mean, maybe it was a group of people, but the first ones or even the second ones, how difficult that would have had to been or how that would have occurred.
Terry, it's like asking about how great was that king that was in my dream last night? Boy, you know,
Well, true.
he really must have had to be such a great guy, you know. What relevance does it
Okay.
have?
None. I was, it just struck my imagination as a fancy. That's all.
Yeah, it's not really worth dwelling on.
No, you're right.
I mean, according to, you know, Hindu mythology, basically, there's 4 yugas, 4 categories of time. And we're in the last one right now, which is, I think, 250,000 years or something like that. We're like 10,000 years into it or something like that. So barely into it. But the 3 periods that have come before was full of enlightened beings. And that was the norm. It's now in
Um,
this time period where people are more in their minds and um, you know, chaos in the world and you know, all these kinds of negative attributes that we see in humans, you know. So if you put it in that kind of context, it's been a very, very long dream. And who knows? Who knows? I mean, we can only speculate about it, really.
yeah,
It's,
as you say, it doesn't matter. I'm going to be leaving here in just a little bit for just a few minutes. My daughter Rachel's coming over. I'm going to unload some peaches on her and give her some gas money, and then I'll be back up. So she ought to be ringing the doorbell here pretty quick. So you guys are stuck with me
Thank-
until So is it raining or anything in your places?
A lot.
here. It's been raining a little bit on and off.
Pouring. Pouring rain all night, all day.
You've been getting floods there. Huh?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I had a river in my garden. The
I know
water
where
was
Terry lives too.
rushing
There's
like,
been floods in the Midwest.
oh, crazy.
It's pretty nice here, actually.
Yeah. Nice place, Dananga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We haven't
It's
had any
been,
hurricanes so far yet, so it's a good part. Usually the hurricanes go north of here, so I think it's in general,
Yeah.
and the way they've designed the city, um, the water runs off, and you know it might flood for a little while, but it all runs off into the sea or into the river very quickly. So
Yeah, the sea, it's a safe place to dump the water.
it floods a lot in Florida too, but I mean they've just designed it with canals and the streets so that the water runs into the canals and just runs off into the ocean. clears away pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But so are we done with spiritual conversation, or any other things that you want to talk about?
I don't know. I honestly, I don't, for the first time in very, very many years, I don't have questions about spirituality somehow. And I'm very grateful. I mean, it's clear for me the practice. I mean, I talked to you about the experiences I had before,
Yeah.
25 years ago, when I was living in a high state and I could see that nothing is true. But there was all the time an idea within me that I have something to do with this me. Where is this me coming from? You know, I wasn't clear about. I didn't know how to go further. And now I know that it's nobody to go further. It's that the idea that it has to go, you know.
Yeah.
If I would have met you 25 years ago, I think my life would have been totally different than
Yeah, but I
what
think
has
you wouldn't have
been.
been ready for it. You know, everyone gets what they're ready for in life on the
Yeah,
spiritual path.
whatever. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah,
And,
because I mean,
you
if
know,
you
when
would
I
have come to
contact,
me when you were doing these other practices or whatever, you wouldn't have had the openness like you have now to be able to listen to what I say. You know, no, I know I'm doing this practice and it's working, or it's, you know, I know it's
perhaps you're right.
works. I know what works.
Yeah,
I mean, that's how it is for everybody.
yeah, yeah,
You know, I mentioned
yeah.
this woman that has been writing to me recently, and so many spiritual ideas. I mean, just so many spiritual ideas. It's like, I just told her, it's like, I don't know if I can help you at this point. I mean, it's like, you know,
Yeah.
that example of coming to the ocean with a full cup, you know, there's no room for any water. It's like I said, your mind is
Mm.
a cup that's full of spiritual concepts and ideas, and until you're ready to let go of all of your beliefs and accept that none of it's true, there's not really anything I can do for you. I can't, you know, you won't accept what I say if I tell you these things, if you still believe that your
Mm.
everything that you've been doing in the past is correct, you know.
Yeah.
She wrote right back and said that, you know, I feel like I'm ready to move forward from where I am, and I'm willing to, you know, because you know, it's like when somebody comes to me, I have to kind of lay everything out and explain it to them about kind of what the process is like, and also make sure that they understand for themselves what they're looking for, what their goal is, you know,
Mm.
what is it that you coming to me for, or any spiritual teacher for. Um, Generally, most people, when they come to the teaching of Vedanta, they don't understand that it's about letting go of false beliefs about yourself, letting go of the ego, letting go of the sense of individuality. And most people are, no, I can't let go of that. That's who I am. You know, it's like, so that's usually when people either let go or go. You know,
Yes. Well, yeah, you know, I consider myself very lucky that I was able to let go of those spiritual beliefs and traps, you know, because it's very hard to detach yourself from what you're finding once your life starts to fall apart, you know. I think, you know, we are trained to look for a bright future, to get married, to have a good career, to, you know, have a happy life. And when we are hit by the reality of life, we start to search for answers. Well, in my case, I was 5 years old when I was asking myself, who am I, where I came from, and how come I'm here? But nevertheless, I was trying, what's life all about, you know? And of course, at that point, you discover spirituality. And now, with the internet and everything, that spirituality is available more than ever. And a lot of those fake teachers are preying on those seekers that have no idea what, you know, you embrace the first teacher who plays the role of a guru, and you start to absorb spiritual teachings, and you start to fill your mind up with spiritual knowledge, and you embrace it with all your might, because now for you this is live or die, you know? I mean, if your life failed and now you found the spirituality, it's like you grab God by his foot, you know, and it's your salvation. And I saw many people getting so attached to the spirituality beliefs that they were not able to see beyond. So in that sense, I consider myself very lucky that I was able to discern from all that maze and find the teaching and find you finally. Yeah. Because I had to let go, you know, I told you I became first, I studied mysticism. I joined the Rosicrucian order, and when I joined that for 2 years, I thought, oh, this is it, now I'm gonna be happy, you know, and then it was very hard to detach from that. I mean, once I recognized that what it is, I dumped it like, I don't know, something like a diaper, you know, kind of a thing. I don't know, that came out of as a comparison. Then I found the yoga, the Kriya Yoga. When I got involved in the Kriya Yoga, it was like, oh my God, for my dear life, this is it, you know.
Yeah.
But yet I still had questions. I still had, wasn't clear about. I just believed that this is what I have to do in order to be enlightened. You know, then I found the Sedona method, which was a great method. But then again, I got stuck because I wanted to be free. I wanted to be enlightened. And then finally, well, who wants to be enlightenment and what enlightenment is, you know?
Exactly.
Because we made a spirituality, we transformed spirituality as a goal to achieve something. And we still hold on to a person who is going to become something else than what it is now. Somebody who is free, who is enlightened, somebody who is detached, who has a better life than it had before, who whatever, has powers, or I don't know, whatever it is we believe.
Yeah, exactly. It's all those kinds of thoughts. So I say it's one of the first things that I tell people is or ask people is, you know, not just for me, but I mean, you have to understand for yourself, why are you doing this? What's your motivation? What are you really looking for? You know, because if you want to become a better person or an enlightened person or whatever, this really isn't the path for you, because this is a path of no person.
You cannot. And you cannot. You will never become enlightened. That I know.
Yeah, it's not for the person. It's not for the individual.
Exactly. Yeah.
There's really, I mean, enlightenment is just a enlightenment, whatever. It's just a label. Really, there's only the self.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that people kind of have to come to terms with, and also to understand that you need to look and see what kinds of ideas and beliefs and images that you hold about yourself and let them go.
Mm.
We
Yeah.
don't look at them because they're true. We look at them because they're false to let go of them.
Yes. Yeah.
So in that way, we become more and more expansive, more undefined, more free.
Mm.
So we'll see. I mean, maybe this gal will join us at some point or not. I mean, I don't know if you had a chance to look at the chat group today. I posted that little thing about meditation that I wrote to her.
I read it. I read it briefly, but I didn't finish reading it. So yeah, I didn't have a comment because yeah. But I'm gonna look into it.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting to see when someone has a lot of spiritual concepts and spiritual beliefs and uh, I don't know, maybe at some point she'll see this video and at that point she'll probably, if she does, at that point she'll probably have some more clarity on the whole thing and understand what I've been trying to point to her, point her to or whatever. But also, you know, that's also something that I tell everyone that comes to me is that I'm very direct with people. It's like I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's like if you're serious about realization, then don't take anything personally that I say because I don't say anything to put somebody down or be mean or say that you're stuck or this is how you are. Like, no, this is not how you are. So we'll see. Maybe she'll join us, maybe she won't. So it'll be interesting
Yeah.
to see. It's always quite a bit of work for me in the beginning when dealing with somebody new that comes to me because it's like, oh boy, wow, what a lot of concepts. It's like if if you're not willing to let that's I have to tell her that. It's like if most not most people, but a lot of people when they by the time they come to me, they're pretty well done with other spiritual teachers. It's like if they found the Maharaj book, this is the Sadhguru publishing books. Um, those are books that are meant to like finish off your spiritual journey and your spiritual path. So it's like um, over the years, people have come to me with a lot of different spiritual concepts and things, and quite a few people I've had to say, well, I don't, I don't really think that I can offer you anything. If this is that's what you have to find out first is what is this person really after? Are they really after realization or are they after, I mean, she's in the habit of uh, writing her spiritual ideas down, she wanted to publish a book and, um, especially if somebody thinks that their ideas are so true that they want to put them in a book and share them with other people, that's usually those ideas are pretty attached to those ideas. So if they don't
Are you talking
understand,
about? Oh, I'm sorry.
go ahead.
Are you talking about the lady in California?
Um, I think she's in California. Did I tell you about her?
I think so. She's the Indian lady. Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah, did I tell you about her? I didn't know I told you
Yeah,
about
you
her.
did tell us about. You did tell us a little bit about her. Yes.
Oh, last meeting, yeah. I did
Uh-huh.
mention her, yeah, when she started writing to me. She's an Indian woman from I actually don't even know where she's from in India, but she's but in California.
Well, well, you know, when you get new aspirants, I feel sorry for you. You might end up with another Terry. He didn't have any spirituality like Julia here. He comes stumbling in straight out of the woods as a baby.
Yeah, but you had
And that's the best.
also had some exposure to non-dual teachings when you came to me.
So,
Something.
so this lady in California, she was already going to be writing a spirituality book.
Something along those lines, or journals, or something. Yeah, she told me that she had been writing and that she came across some teachings from one of the, 8 or 10 teachers that she's been collecting spiritual ideas from.
Hmm.
Wanted to write a book, and she's actually a prolific writer. It's a little bit exhausting to have to read through a lot of all these ideas. It's like, I'm sorry, but if you're really so into all of these ideas, I mean, there's not a lot I can do for you until you're ready to let go of it. So now she says she is. So I said, okay, well, what kind of a meditation are you doing? And she's like, well, she talked about these meditations that basically aren't in alignment with Vedanta teachings. I mean, with self-realization. I mean, they're here, there, everywhere. Different kinds of things. So, yeah. So it takes all kinds. I mean, in some ways, it's better like when somebody comes to me with an empty cup. They don't have all those. It's like I was saying to you. You can't go to the ocean with a full cup and expect to drink some water from it. It's like there's no room. And her mind was that cup full of spiritual ideas. So it's like, empty out that cup and then talk to me.
Oh, let me say real quick. Rachel said, "Hello, guys."
Oh, hello back,
Hello
Rachel.
back.
She's probably gone now, huh?
She is.
She enjoying that
That's a-
Camry?
Yes.
It's a good car.
Yes. It is. Yes. Yeah, she got a great vehicle.
You got her a new car?
I gave her my car.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's fairly old, but it's 10,
Yeah, it's a
15
2011.
21.
Yeah, it's a 2011, and probably now it has probably 180,000 miles. But it's still, you could jump in it and drive across the country, no problem.
Yeah, for Toyota, I mean, that's just it's broken in now.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I met a guy at the grocery store not too long ago. Had a 2007 Camry, which is 4 years older, and he has had 350,000 miles on it and said he hadn't had any major problems.
Yeah, as long as you do the regular maintenance, some of them have, the older ones have timing chains. I think the newer ones have timing belts in them.
Yeah.
That's probably the biggest maintenance thing that you have to do. I mean, other than that, change the oil and go through and do the regular 60,000, 120,000 mile maintenance, all that stuff. I mean, they'll just keep running.
Yeah.
Good cars.
Yeah.
I've had quite a few Camrys and quite a few Nissans, and they're all basically bulletproof cars.
Yeah.
So,
well, I'm glad to hear that she's ready to part with her concepts. That's a big big plus. Like,
Yeah. Well, the proof is in the pudding, right?
uh, yeah, I remember one time, a long time ago, I had told you that I thought, oh, it's easy for me to uh, forget that I'm the body, but it's going to be much harder than for me to forget the mind. Looking back on that, that was pretty funny.
Why did he say that?
Yeah.
You are trying to figure out guy, huh?
Yeah. Well, what's funny about it was because I was so full of ego, you know, thinking, oh, this is going to be simple, you know. Yeah, I can tell I'm not the body. Yeah. Well, but you know, bottom line is even now though, it is easier, of course, to forget the body than it is the mind. I mean, the mind has you attached with like treble hooks, you know.
Yeah, if we didn't, if the mind wasn't there, we wouldn't even have an experience of the body. So, I mean, our
Yeah.
entire experience and understanding of the body is based upon, or based in the mind.
Yeah. But
But
yeah, I was thinking,
easy and difficult are just concepts that are unnecessary. What is it like when you don't have any idea or any concept of being hard or being easy?
then your oneness. Oh,
Mhm.
it just dawned on me. I will be in a group of professional writers. And me, I can barely write my name. That's
Professional
funny.
writers.
You, Julia, and
Oh,
the lady in California.
Well, I'm
Are,
not that professional, you know.
I'm not either. I'm nothing.
oh, there. Yes, yes.
So, I mean, it's really weird sometimes for me to even when writing to someone, it's like I have to say, oh, well, this is what I'm offering or this is what I'm teaching or whatever. But I mean, it's like, it just seems so ludicrous to say that because I don't believe that as being myself or that, you know, I'm a doer of this, I mean, someone could look at that and say, oh, there's this guy that's, saying he's a teacher or whatever. But I mean, usually when somebody comes to me as the first thing I say is, I don't consider myself to be a teacher or a guru or anything like that. But some people consider me to be their guru, but I don't view myself that way. But if I can help someone, then really it's only the self talking to the self. The self helping the self awaken to itself.
Mm. So when it's nice and crisp here in January and February, how is it in Denali? Because the Julia is doing her
Warm and
best.
rainy. I mean, warm
Uh,
relatively, it's 60s.
Because Julia's doing her best to convince me that I need to take a long, extended trip. So
I
I
wish you
can't now
would, but I
because
don't think that you should do something that out of pressure. I think you should do it because you want to do it,
oh
But
yeah.
I've ribbed you about stepping out of your comfort zone before, and encourage you to do that because whether it's leaving in a car or a plane or leaving in a box 6 feet under the ground, you're going to leave it one way or the other.
Ah, now that you put it that way. Uh-huh.
Nothing to be afraid of out here. Safest place I've ever been and friendliest people that I've ever in the world that I've ever met, so and the cheapest place that I've ever lived. It's amazing how strong
Oh
the
yeah.
dollar gets stronger, but everywhere else it's weaker.
Hmm. Yeah, I was informed that I would have enough money to live. I wouldn't need to worry about being in Vietnam. So
No, you would
thanks.
not have to worry about money here.
Mhm.
I mean, if I can live on my pittance, you could live like
Mhm.
royalty.
Mhm.
I think probably what I want to do next is try to find a house, and
Ah,
I I think are we gonna in the spiritual part of our conversation and just chat, or
Yeah, I think so.
okay, I'm gonna stop recording because it takes space and
oh
this
yeah.
stuff doesn't need to be recorded.